Hi everybody and welcome to Free Range Diva. You all know that I intermittent fast. I've been doing it for about a year and I do time restricted eating, which is a 16-hour fasting window and an 8-hour eating window. And most of the time I eat a healthy, nutritious, well-balanced diet, 90% of the time. But the nice thing about intermittent fasting is that it's a lifestyle. And if you feel like you want to have a cheat day or a cheat meal, there's flexibility. You can do it. And so sometimes when I want to have a cheat meal, I want it to be comforting, not dessert. I want something that is going to feel like a nice, warm hug at the end of a day. I want pasta. And when I want pasta, it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be the spicy rigatoni vodka from North Italia, or it's going to be my ultimate lazy woman's easy baked macaroni and cheese. Oh my goodness! I mean, when it comes to comfort food, macaroni and cheese is the dictionary definition, right? But I don't have time for bechamel sauces, cheese sauces, melting and stirrings. No, I ain't got time for that. My classic macaroni and cheese is easy, it's quick, it's baked. It's for the lazy woman. It has a clean, cheesy flavor with a creamy mouthfeel, and surprisingly, it's very light. It doesn't weigh you down. So you don't feel like a beached whale at the end of the meal. And it has a minimal amount of hands-on time. So if you want some serious comfort with minimal effort, I got you. Add about 1 cup of macaroni to a pot of boiling salted water. Cook according to package directions, occasionally stirring it to make sure it doesn't stick, until it's a little past al dente. It'll absorb some more liquid as it bakes, but not a lot. Drain and set aside. While that's cooking, you can grate the cheese. I like a mixture of cheddar and jack cheeses, so you can buy them separately or use a Colby Jack combo like I'm using here. I tend to cook intuitively by sight, so I can't give you an exact amount of cheese. It's probably 1.5 to 2.5 cups, but you should have enough to fill in the layers with a healthy amount left to form a crust on top. You'll see what I mean. So I drain the pasta and now crack 1 egg into a 1 cup measuring cup. Then you'll fill the cup the rest of the way with milk, or as I'm using here, half and half. Yes, there's a lot of dairy in this recipe, and I can't recommend any substitutes because the egg and the milk are going to make a custard instead of the traditional cheese sauce. Did I say fill it up to the 1 cup mark? I decided to put in a little more, so a little over 1 cup. You can use all half and half, or cut it with a little water so it's closer to the consistency of whole milk. Either way is fine. All half and half will just be a little bit richer. Pour into a mixing bowl and add a teaspoon of salt and a ½ teaspoon of sugar. And this is the secret to getting an extra cheesy flavor. The original recipe, which is at least 50 years old, calls for a full teaspoon of sugar, but I find it to be too sweet. So I've cut it down to a ½ teaspoon, which is a nice balance. Whisk it together, making sure the salt and sugar completely dissolve into the mixture. This is going to be the base of your custard. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees and butter the inside of a standard 9 by 5 inch loaf pan. Now, I've used a lot of different pans for this recipe over the years, but this one from Le Creuset has given me by far the best results. It's a vintage, heavy stoneware loaf pan that you can still find on eBay. Otherwise, Le Creuset makes a similar size pan that should work equally well. You see, it's the stoneware that allows the casserole to cook evenly so that the custard doesn't dry out on the bottom and get crispy, or on the edges before the center is done. Time to assemble the casserole. Gather the noodles, butter, custard mixture, and cheese. Layer in about a third of the noodles for the first layer, just like you'd layer lasagna, until you cover the bottom of the pan. Place a few thin slices of butter over the noodles, spreading them out evenly. Then, sprinkle a layer of cheese over it, just enough to lightly cover. Repeat the process again. Noodles, a little butter, and cheese. The butter gives it a richness and a creamy mouthfeel. Also, this time I'm using a little bit more cheese than the last layer. And I see that I need more. So I'm going to go grate some more cheese for the final layer. BRB. I'm adding more cheese until it looks like I've used enough to completely cover everything. It has to look right, you know? Finally, the last layer of noodles goes on top. Then more cheese over the whole thing. Then more cheese, leaving a little bit to the side. And yes, I skipped the butter. Oops. The last step is to pour the milk mixture over the whole thing. When you press down with the back of a spoon, you should see the milk mixture right below the surface. If not, then consider adding a little more milk. It will all mix together when it bakes. The last of the cheese goes right on top. Oh, heck, let's just add a little more cheese. Place uncovered in a 350-degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes. Oh my God, look at that! Look at it! So this is blistering hot. It's got to cool down a lot. But oh, this is going to be so good. Can't you just see how good this is going to be? Oh, it's bubbling all around the edges here. You've got this bubbling going on. Look over there. Let's get in really close. Wait. Look at that. It's just gonna be so good. I know you're hating me right now, aren't you? I know. Yes, I got a little excited. It's important to leave the casserole uncovered. If you cover it, the buildup of steam causes the top layer of cheese to melt down into the casserole. But leaving it uncovered keeps the top layer intact and you get this gorgeous, cheesy crust on top. There you have it. Everything you could ever want in a satisfying, comforting macaroni and cheese. creamy custard, cheesy layers, and chewy browned crust on top. Thank you for watching today, and if you try this, please let me know. Also, please consider subscribing and leaving a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And until I see you again, take care and have a glorious day.